Okay, welcome grade 4. I hope you are fine. We studied before approximation. In part 1, we studied how to approximate to the nearest tens, hundreds, and thousands. Today, we want to learn how to approximate to the nearest tenth and whole number or units. Let's start with this exercise. Approximate to the nearest tenth. Okay, tenth is the same as 1 over 10 or 1 decimal place. So the question can be approximate to the nearest tenth, or approximate to the nearest 1 over 10, or approximate to the nearest 1 decimal place. Okay, by the same way as we studied before, the first step is to underline the place. We want to underline tenth. Where is tenth? We said before, this is the decimal point. To the right we have decimal places, and to the left we have the whole number. So the tenth here is 1. So I'll underline 1. Then look at the right, we have 6. We will compare it with 5. 6 is greater than 5. Greater than or equal 5, it means that I'll add 1 to the underlined digit. So 1 will become 2 and 6 will become 0. Okay, so the approximation will be 13.2. You can put 0 to the right or not, it's the same. Okay, so 13.2 or 13.20 is the same. Let's move to the next one. By the same way, underline tenth. This is tenth, this 9. Look at the right, we have 9, so I should add 1 to this 9. 9 plus 1, 10, 0 carry up 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. So the approximation will be 216. You can write 0.0 or not, okay? 216 or 216.0, it's the same. 125.787 approximately equal to what? Also to the nearest 1 decimal place or tenth or 1 over 10. Okay, what is the tenth? We have here to the right of the decimal point we have 7. This is the tenth. Look at the right, we have 8. 8 is greater than 5. So also in this case I'll add 1 to 7 to become 8. So the approximation will be 125.8. The next one, 12.214. The tenth here is, yes, 2. Look at the right, we have 1. 1 is less than 5. So I won't add 1. Don't add 1 to the underlined digit. So the approximation will be 12.2. That's all. Okay. Now let's move to another 3 points. But in this case we have a fraction. To approximate to the nearest tenth, we should convert into decimal number. Here we have 16 and 1 over 4. We will convert it into decimal numbers. Do you remember? 1 over 4 means 0.25. So this mixed number will be 16.25. Now let's follow the same steps to approximate to the nearest tenth. Underline tenth. What is tenth? Yes, 2. Look at the right, we have 5. We said before, 5 or more, I'll add 1 to the underlined digit. So now I'll add 1 to number 2, it will be 3. So the approximation will be 16.3. The next one, also, I want to approximate to the nearest tenth, so I should convert it into decimal by multiplying up and down by 125. Okay, for the whole number will stay as it is. Then I'll multiply 5 over 8 up and down by 125. We said before 8 times 125 is 1000, so the denominator will be 1000, and up we have 5 times 125, which is 625. It means 4 and 625 over 1000, which is 4.625. Okay, now let's approximate. What is the 10th? Yes, 6. Look at the right, we have 2. Don't add 1. All the number digits to the right will become zeros, or we can cancel them. Now we have 4.6. The approximation will be 4.6 or 4.600. Also, it's right. You said before, after the decimal point to the right, the last zeros have no meaning or no value. Okay, let's move to the last one here. We have also mixed number 141 and 3/4. I should convert it into decimal number. As we studied before, 3/4 means 0.75. So here we have 141.75. Okay, let's underline the 10th. 7 is the 10th. Look at the right, we have 5. So I'll add 1 to 7 to become 8. So the approximation will be 141.8. Okay, so we follow the same steps. Step 1, underline the digit in the place you want to approximate to. Step 2, look at the digit to the right of the underlined digit. If this digit is 5 or more, add 1 to the underlined digit. If it's less than 5, don't add 1. The last step, all the digits to the right become zeros and all the digits to the left will stay. Except if you are adding 1 to 9, in this case, you will add and carry up 1 until you finish adding. Okay? Now let's see another approximation, this time to the nearest unit. Okay, I want to approximate to the nearest unit. The nearest unit is the same as the nearest whole number. So in this case, I want to approximate the digit to the nearest unit or whole number. Let's start with the first one. What is the unit? Of course, 5. Now let's look at the right by the same step. We will follow the same steps as part 1 and as how can we approximate to the nearest step. Underline unit. Look at the right, we have 1. 1 is a small number, it's smaller than 5, so don't add 1. So I'll write 125. Okay. Here we have 322.179. Also, I'll underline the unit, which is 2. Look at the right, we have 1 less than 5, so don't add 1. The result will be 322. 13.999 or 13 and 999,000. In this case also we will underline the unit, which is 3. Look at the right, we have 9. In this time 9 is greater than 5, so I'll add 1 to this 3 to become 4, so it's approximately equal 14. Also here we have 204.65. The unit is 4. In the right, the next digit to the right is 6. 6 is greater than 5, so I'll add 1 to digit 4 to become 5. So it's approximately equal to 205. Okay, what about if you have a fraction? Here we have 3/6, 1/4, 5/9. We have a mixed number. We want to approximate it into the nearest whole number. What can we do? In this case, it's very easy. Just compare the fraction with half. If the fraction is small, if this fraction is less than half, don't add 1 to the unit. Okay? If the fraction is equal to or more than half, in this case, add 1 to the units. Okay, let's do it together. For example, the first one, we have 12 and 3/6. I'll take 3/6 and I'll compare it with 1/2. 3/6 is the same as 1/2. 3/6 equal 1/2. Okay, we can simplify, divide up and down by 3. So the fraction will be 1 over 2, or we can make cross product or cross multiplication. 6 times 1 equals 6, and 2 times 3 also equals 6. So 3 over 6 is equal to 1 over 2. In this case, equal or more, I'll add 1. So I'll add 1 to 12 or to the digit 4 here in the unit. So this number is approximately equal to 13. The next one, we have 125 and 1 over 4. By the same way, I'll take this fraction and compare it with half. 1 over 4 is less than half. Okay, so don't add 1. So 125 and 1 over 4 is approximately equal to 125. Don't add 1 because 1 over 4 is less than 1 over 2. Okay, let's move to 105 over 9. By the same way, I'll take the fraction 5 over 9 and compare it with half. The unit here is 0. If this fraction is equal to or more than half, I'll add 1 to the 0. If this fraction is less than half, don't add 1. Okay, let's compare. 5 over 9 is greater than 1 over 2. 9 times 1 equals 9, 2 times 5 equals 10. So 5 over 9 is greater than 1 over 2. So in this case, I'll add 1 to the units. The approximation will be 101. Okay, it's very easy. We have the same steps for all approximations. Just underline the digit, the place of the digit you want to approximate to. Then look at the right. If the digit to the right is greater than or equal to 5, add 1 to the underlined digit. If it's smaller than 5, don't add 1. All the digits to the right of this digit will become 0, and all the digits to the left will stay. In case that you are approximating to the nearest whole number or to the nearest unit and you have a fraction, take this fraction and compare it with half. If the fraction is equal to or more than 1 over 2 or half, in this case add 1 to the underlined digit, which is unit. If it's less than half, don't add 1. Okay, that's all about our session today. I hope you have understand approximation part 2 and part 1. Next session we will start geometry. Our first lesson in geometry will be congruency. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have understand, and goodbye.